Welcome, you pedal aficionados. Today we're looking at a brand new pedal, which is kind of also incorporating other brand new pedals, as far as I understand. My understanding of pedals is limited. Good that I have this job, because I can learn. So you all, some of you might know this. This is Ibanez's brand new, it's called Tubescreamer. It's called the TS9. It's just hit the market this year, and it is has proven very popular. So people call it like the green pedal. It's a thing that does lots of mids, not so much in the low end, and like a low gainy kind of mid, more low gainy kind of a drive. It's very cool, and I think it might prove to be super popular in the years to come. We'll see who's going to use them from now on. Another company went for a slightly different kind of green. It's not the same kind of green. That's the Noodles ODR1. Also came out this year. Very, very popular apparently already with some of the Nashville people. A different kind of green pedal and something about different kind of clipping. And instead of a tone knob that kind of rolls off your high end, it's got a spectrum knob, which does different things. So apparently it's different than this. And people say, oh, I don't like the ODR1. Oh, I like the Tubescreamer. The forums right now are buzzing about these. I don't know. For me, it's the same thing. And it isn't, as you will clearly see. So I'm clearly wrong about this. Why am I saying it is the same thing? Technically, it really isn't. I have a little chart here that I will show you right there, that clearly shows you it isn't. The clipping is different, the EQing is different, and one of them is more dense and thick, the other one definitely more trebly and not so much low-endy. I will call them the same thing because of the function of part you play with it. I would say the kind of guitar I pick up to play one of these into a clean amp, let's say, or a slightly driven amp, the kind of guitar will probably be similar. My choice will be the same whether I use one of these or the other one of these. The kind of part I play is going to be very similar. So the musical function, to me, it doesn't really matter which one I use, because musically I will play the same kind of chords, the same kind of material in the mix, the same kind of solo material. It's just a variation of how thick and round or how mid-focused do you want it. However, the part musically that I play is going to be the same part. I'm not going to all of a sudden go with a 7-string Fishman Fluence gent machine, as some of you might. I've seen people lately use this with high gain amps. They're trying this out. Could be cool. So why am I talking about these? Also green. Because right here is the NS by my friends at Keeley. Hey, Robert. Hey, Aaron. And they combine this. Now, I have, let me once and for all get this out of the way. I have talked a lot about IP, intellectual property, and people cloning things and not cloning things. There is, for me, I get up on my soapbox and I'm on a very high horse, the big, whatever horses are big, that horse is what I'm on, about intellectual property when it comes to the digital world. I do not like companies using the likeness and namesakes of someone else, Dietzel, Bogner, whatever, and doing a digital facsimile of it and then sharing it by the millions, especially when it comes to profiling. Because it's that's the Napster thing. It just spreads really quickly. And I know boomer, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to cloning or homaging in the analog world, I mean, this is not a Fender, okay? I don't have a problem with this because someone actually has to make it and still prove that it is better than the other thing, or it's a variation of the other thing that you want. Now, this technically has two circuits in it, two ideas in it, that are not Keeley's. However, the idea to combine them and use each other's controls to control the other, neither Ibanez nor Noodles came up with, Keeley did. So there is something to be said for this is a very original idea. Again, for me, the difference, analog versus digital. Digital can be copied by the millions and companies have a problem with it. When it's an actual piece of gear, I have less of a problem with it. That's why I have no problem showing you the Tubescreamer from Keeley. I hope that makes sense. You're going to go in the comments, you're going to go nuts. Maybe save 5 minutes and don't write something. It's just my opinion. You're totally entitled to yours. So what we have here is failure to communicate. That's a song by someone. That's actually a quote that's in a song by someone. Anyway, we have a TS, which stands for the Tubescreamer thing. We have an OD, which stands for an overdrive kind of thing, which ODR1. Okay. So we have these two kind of things in there. We have the typical drive, level, and tone. Tone will be the typical Tubescreamer kind of tone when it's on TS, and the Noblesy kind of spectrum when it's on OD. And that's really where it's interesting. It kind of nails both circuits, but you could literally just buy this and be done. But then also on your board, you'd have two of them. You have to power two of them. Okay, pros and cons. But you have the original. It's all good. Whatever you want. But being able to do one into the other is actually very cool. I love the form factor. If we look at the pedal here, we have a soft clicky, of course, with a green LED. If we look at the back, we have all top-loaded ins and outs. 9 volts there through a hole in the chassis. These chassis are brand new for Keeley. They are aluminum for the and aluminium for the others. I love these chassis, and if you had 2 or 3 of these, if that was like a new kind of a form factor for Keeley, who knows, then you could really just smack them next to each other and just build one cool kick-ass pedal. That being said, we're gonna go into a bunch of amps, and the more high gainy we get, the more guitar changey we get. We're gonna start with this Strat style guitar from McMahon into, and I have to say it, one of the most fantastic releases of this year, the Tone King Royalist. Holy crap, I like clean sounds, and this thing fucking delivers. So, and then we're gonna go into the Valiant guitar with some P90s and humbuckers. So you can already tell this is a complex video because we have 2 drives with 2 tone stacky things or whatever you want to call them. So this is a clean sound. Effects are coming from the aux. This is a blues breakery thing, kind of early Marshall tones. But we're gonna get into more stuff later. So I'm fully on the TS side here. It's exactly what we expect from a Tubescreamer. They would say if it was something that had been out for a long time. Yeah, it's that super mid-honky, no low-end kind of a thing. Those tones make me happy. Let's play with the, hey, old style single chords, they have hum. Let's play with the tone. So that clipping, according to this thing, is way more roundy, and the other one is kind of hard clippy. And the EQ curve is obviously mid-focused and rolls off other things. The other EQ curve isn't that. But we're not going to go there yet. We're going to now go into the ODR1. So you can clearly hear that it actually, instead of taking things away and focusing on the mids, it kind of fills up everything. There's definitely no taking away. So if we let the high end come through on the OD side, then you can hear that bristly kind of top end there. Definitely, I would say more gain maybe, but also it does feel different. Let's set up a similar setting here and just go TS, OD, both switches. Okay, now let's do the TS side with both different tonies. Interesting. It does get similarly bristly in the top end if we distort it Tubescreamer style, but we're EQing it OD style. That's interesting that that top end now sounds OD-ish. Very cool. We can definitely get it darker than with the TS tone control. Let's flippity do that. So we're on the OS now. OD now. OS. I have a feeling that the OD with the TS EQ can get very dangerously bright. which by itself, but maybe as a type of treble booster into an already driven amp, that might work, who knows. So without switchy flicking the knobs, turny twisting the knobs, we had 4 different sounds and all very clearly different. Let me crank up the gain a little bit more on the level. Tone in the middle, and I'll show you. Pretty nifty. Let's go into the Royalist on the second channel, and we're going to crank up the gain there. So we get a nice dose of gain, and I have a feeling that this type of pedal, time will tell, is maybe good to push an amp. Love that mid honk, and if we're going to go back here, roll this back, we have even more of it. Sorry, I can't stop playing. That's pretty damn nifty. I mean, that's the problem. We got 2 drives with 2 EQs. We have different guitars and different amps, and the permutations of tone are insane. So how are we going to test this? The way we're doing it now, with time. Back to the scene really quickly with P90. Maybe we change keys. Hamburglar. I go checka 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 now. Why say that they're kind of the same in the beginning. That's totally stupid. They are very clearly very different. I clearly don't know pedals. I have no idea where these companies hire me. Clueless. Okay, there's a lot of tone in here. We're going to move on to different amps now. Going to go into the Artesound Vibrosound, which actually is vibrating on the FET input, which makes it slightly Dumble-esque. And the spring reverb from the amp. Doesn't suck. We're gonna go into the Morgan MVP66, which is very JTM-like. That's what it sounds like by itself. Let's crank the level all the way up and the gain not so much, so we're gonna push that amp levelly. You can get as mushy and dense as you want, or clearer. But if you like some of the mushiness, but some of the clarity of the, you can with the clickities, you know, that's the possibilities. Gonna go into the Marshall Mini Plexi. I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly the TS side, when gains all the way down but level is up, pushes more than the OD side. Oh, but less when it's on its own EQ. Whoa! The possibilities are Seriously endless. And that's all with no gain. Wow. Moving on to a Vox style circuit in the, what that thing is called, AC30, AC20 actually, from those people at Morgan. Where I always play sus chords, I don't know why. Here we go, that's better. So you can very clearly do this, and then tailor it to your amp. That was impressive right there. And then we're gonna go, because why wouldn't we, into the Marshall JCM800, which sounds so without the pedal. As I said, there's circumstances where the OD with the TS with all its presents might actually come in. For example, around Christmas, where you need presents. So it very, very clearly works with any amp, but with different settings. We got one more, which is the Victory Super Sheriff VS100. It's that thing in the bottom right corner over there, and that's on the first channel, but in the second gain stage. Nice amp. Did you know that Victory was owned by... Nah. So what worked in the JCM really doesn't work in the Victory. Oh, that's too thick there for the victory down there. Did you feel that? It was just like crapping out. So that's the cool thing. It's crapping out because it is too much. So I'm going to go to the TS side and actually thin out the signal for the OD clipping. Yeah, if you know. Oh, that amp doesn't like that kind of clipping. Listen to it. Maybe some of you do like that. That's a very fuzzy, kind of dirty. And we're back in the Royalist. So, and that was my little video about the Noble Screamer by Keeley. Combining two things that have been into, thank you, Leslie, into a thing that has not been yet. And if you were thinking like me, who gives a crap? Nobody needs that shit. Sorry, Robert, that was my feeling. I now have been taught that I need that shit, and you probably need that shit, because that setting right here was way too trebly into clean. But into the JCM, oh, that gave me bitiness. There's absolutely something to be said for sending one into the tone of the other. Weird that nobody's thought about it, or that, I mean, maybe people have thought about it, maybe they made a TS into the OD's EQ and just never talked about it, or it was just set. Here you can go very simply 2 flickies, and you have a radically, I mean, really, I mean, not radically, I mean, it's not a rat, it's not radically, very tweakable and different kind of nuanced overdrive. The possibilities are there. I now think this is a good idea. When Robert told me what he was doing, I was like, been there, done that. I don't think so. I don't think that this has been done. I don't think that this has been done. And depending on your amp and your pickup combination, you really want to explore the new possibilities of the Noble Screamer by Keeley. And that was my video that they are paying me for. Thank you, Keeley, because, you know, I got to eat, can't eat pedals. I put links below to Thomann, to Sweetwater, and now also to Andertons. And we're gonna see where you buy it or don't. If you don't need a green pedal, don't buy it. If you already have both of them, you would still need that, because you can't put one, you know, it's cool. As always, animals at the end.
And you're feeling